Welcome back to Cowboy Sky. I'm in the filter, as you can probably tell. Sorry I put no content out, not a lot of film, usual things, people closing down for the winter, same old, I thought I'd let you watch all them. Out and about helping Dave, popped over Birmingham, see a lad named Paul, just check his pond out. That's on Dave's video, I've done a flick over. The reason I've called it in, I couldn't clean my filter and I've got a bit of a problem. Flick it around and show you what I'm on about. You probably can't tell by that. There should be 10,000 litres running through there. As you can tell, I'm on the filter clean. It is running okay at the moment, it might look to you, but I think I've got a bit of a blockage in the pump. As you know, I've got a retro bottom drain in my pond, so my pump is actually above the water line, which is why I'm off up there. So for me to take that pump off and clean it, if you've seen the previous video when I actually bled this system, I had the pump in the pond, bled it through, turn the valve off and done it that way. So what I need to do to flush this valve out is fill my filter up, which is what I'm trying to do now, as you can see. The reason for that is I'll have the water up here, so I can turn the valve off. Just show you the valve, you've seen them before. I can turn that valve off there, but I've not got a valve above the pump, so I can't really take the pump off. If I take that pump off, I've got no water to fill that pump and I'll have airlock. So what I'm trying to do now, like I said, is build the water level back up to where it should be. You can actually see the media bubbling away, and when it's full, what I have to do is turn the power on, turn it off. I can't hold the camera unfortunately to show you. I'll see if I can set this tripod up and show you what I'm doing, but I don't know the LCs. What actually happens is the water there is like Alka-Seltzer, it's just full of fizz, just fizzy bubbles. I mean, you can probably just about make the flow out, very poor flow for 10,000. I had this a couple of weeks ago. I haven't got my phone on me to film it. It's been running okay for the last few weeks, probably there's that much crap now with all the leaves and everything else that's falling, blocking the pipe work, blocking the pumps, as well as the larvae, it's blocking the pipes. So I'll try and set a pod up and I'll show you what I'm trying to do to overcome that problem with the pump. Right, I can't set the tripod up to show you what I'm doing, so I'm going to run through before I do it to see if I can explain myself. I've got my water level as I can with that bubbling. That's keeping this cylinder full, so obviously the pump's full of water as well. Now if I undo that valve, this will empty back into the pool and then I'll have an airlock in my pump, which means I'm going to have a game and a half to bleed that pump again. So my plans are open that valve, let some of that water back flush down backwards into the valve and allow it to actually backflow into the pool, but try and keep the water level up here, so that when I shut the valve off and then I turn the pump back on, the amount of water that's in here should fit, the pipe should already be full with water up to there. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain there. It's just a backwash really. It's just sending the water back to the pool, and hopefully the crap then would blow back into the pool, probably defeating the object, but it's the only way I can back flush this pump. So I'll try that and see if I can see a difference on the flow. Okay, I left that bubbling away, so obviously that's full of crud. That's just emptying. While that was on the way down, I've opened my valve, I've dropped that water down to that level and shut the valve. As you can see, that's still full of water. I need that, the pump's still got to be full, otherwise it won't work. You've all seen this before, but that's emptying. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fill it again, but I'm going to leave the air off that. I'm going to switch it back over to the outer ring. I don't want it to boil. when I back flush this, I want it full of clean water, so I want to get that done, and then I'll get back to you and see if you can see the difference in the flow when it's done. Okay, as you can see, I've only back flushed it once with dirty water, to be fair. I've not flushed a lot of water down the pipe. Normally I'll give it a good flush so the whole lot goes into the pond. I know it means you put it back in the pool, but eventually it will suck it back up. You can actually see the chunks of crud. A lot of that is this larvae off here, and obviously I've still got a bit of algae around the pond liner, but you can see the difference in that flow now. Unbelievable. So what I'll do is I'll fill that up. Once it's full of clean water, I'll back flush it again. This time I'll drop it from there right the way down till there's that much water now, so then it's took all the water from around the outer ring. More pressure, pushing the dirt back out the pump down the pipe. Okay, then it's filling back up. I'm not going to flush it again. You can actually see the flow. I don't want to back flush that now and then block the pump up again, but you can actually see what they call the vortex, the circulation of the water around the outer ring. I'm quite happy with that. I'll just have to keep an eye on it. If it happens again, I'll keep my phone handy and I'll show you how this fizzes up when it's blocked. Yeah, sorry there's not a lot of content. Like I say, everybody's doing more or less the same thing. I have got plans, same thing as everybody else really, but I've got two different things that I can choose from, and I'll get back to that in a sec. Okay then, so I've brought it out here just so you can see the fish. A few years ago, you've seen on a previous video, my mate come, we dug the pond out just a little bit deeper. Well, not so much dug it deeper, we raised it up a foot, so it works out a foot deeper. That's how far it was out level. And I'm having problems since I've had the koi. I'm having problems. I'm okay now, them swimming about. It's quite mild today. I'm having problems with them. Absolutely. I know they lie down when it's cold, but these are on the side, but they seem to be spending more time in the shallow end than the deep end. I'm in two minds whether to switch that off to stop the flow, because they do say they're circulating the water too much like that, can mix the warm and the cold. I don't believe it myself, like, but what do you do? The other thing is, I'm thinking of either making a frame, as you see mine's circular shaped, well it's kidney shaped, actually looks like the breech. It's a bit of a nightmare just to make a frame to go around there. I don't zoom out so you can see it, or zoom in. You can actually see the shape, you've seen it before. And cover it. I bought myself a plastic sheet to cover it. The other thing was, if I can just step over here without falling in. Probably see I've got hooks along there. I was going to try and hook the sheet on the bottom of the bridge and pull it tight, so there's a drop over there. Again, this is going to be in the way, so I'm thinking if I disconnect that anyway, I can turn that round over winter out the way, and I can have the sheet over there, so any water will actually run that way off the pond. It's just a way of just giving the pond a little bit of shelter from the cold. Now, I've been talking to Dave, Glyn and Pete the weekend. I can't understand why I'm struggling with the cold. As you can see, it's fenced there, all new fencing. The builders next door, you've heard me before. The shed's there, and it's also blocked there. And I can't understand why I'm struggling now. I've got koi, with them being so loud. If you remember last year, I had to take a couple of the smaller koi out. People were saying it was some sort of sleeping sickness. They was lying flat on the side. Had them in the tank, then back in the pool now. Them doing really well. Another you can see the tiny one over there. There's two of them. Hunkered up on the bottom. Them fresh young ones that I had this year. Well, Mason had off Dave and Jensen. There's two of them, the other two swimming about somewhere. They seem to be hunkered down the bottom. You can see them just starting to move about now. I've never bothered before. I've never insulated my filters. I've never done nothing before. Last year was the first time I'd ever done it. And the other thing is, I never got to get the video out. As you know, my computer has cropped that filter. You can see the patch on the bottom. I have got the video. I don't know if to put it on just to show you the game I had with it. But it ain't the best of the best. I've had to reinforce all the bottom. I'm just worried if we do get a frost, that'll crack. And that's being run off the pump in the deep end. And I've got a float switch on that, so if that happens to crack, it'll empty the pool completely. What I might do, thinking about it now, the pump's only just there, I might just lift it up. There's a shelf under there and put it on there. So if it does happen to break, it'll only drain the water down to the shallow end. So there you go, a few decisions I've got to make. You never know what to do for the best, really. Like I say, I do apologise there's no content, it's just everybody's doing the same thing anyway. So thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed it, share it, like, subscribe, and as always folks, don't forget to polish our thumb. You know you want to, folks.